So we would like to have Kate Murray come up because the speaker that we have first off the bat this morning changed her life. And so we would like to have her come up and introduce the doctor that made a difference.
Hi guys, I'm Kate. I'm a third quarter student, and I'm very happy to introduce somebody who's speaking today. She's changed my life and helped me find my purpose and direction in chiropractic. She graduated a few years ago from here, and she has a very successful practice in Newport Beach, so not too far away. And she also coaches chiropractors on branding and image and practice management. So this woman has done so much for me, and she's my mentor, and she's my friend. So without further ado, this is Dr. Nona Djavid.
It is so exciting to be here, you guys. This past week, I was really thinking about what I wanted to talk about. I've been given this opportunity to give back to my school and really talk to the students about anything. And I put a lot of thought into what I wanted to speak about. Then I thought about, okay, well, just a few years ago, I was sitting in those seats, well, not those particular ones. We used to be in those old rooms, and everything used to be getting projected onto the smaller rooms, so this is fantastic. But when I was at the seminar, I think the one thing that I remember wanting was to hear from a successful chiropractor that it is possible. I wanted to hear that whatever vision I had, which, by the way, I had none at the time. I didn't know if I was going to become an independent contractor, if I was going to work for a chiropractor, I didn't even know where I wanted to practice. But I think it was important for me to understand and know that if anything, once that vision is clear to me, that I'm able to accomplish it. So I think that that's my message. I think my message is that it is possible. But also, I'm here to tell you that it's not easy. It's actually very challenging. So, some possibilities. It's possible you get out of school, you get your first job as a chiropractor, as an associate, and it's possible that you go through with that and you end up working at an office for 6 months. The chiropractor takes advantage of you. You know, that saying, chiropractors eat their young. It is possible. It's possible that 6 months after graduation, you actually decide, you know what, I'm going to get out of chiropractic. It's also possible that you move into a new city with very little money and no friends and no family members, just for a fresh start. And it's possible that you go door to door and face rejection every day because you want a new patient. Not because you're passionate about chiropractic at that moment, but because you really need a new patient to survive. It's also possible that you are forced to move out of that practice and open up your own. You're literally kicked out of that practice. You open up your own practice with very little money, and pretty much from the start again. So all of those are possibilities. It's also possible that you end up building your dream practice. So that's my story. Those are the challenges that I faced when I first got out of school, and you know, from when I first started to now, of course, you will face with many challenges. And every single one of you is going to have your own unique challenges. But there are also some challenges that we face as a profession. Just as an example, how many of you think that chiropractic deserves a better image? Raise your hand. And I agree with that. Did you know that it takes 2.3 seconds to make a first impression? 2.3 seconds, that's like 1001, 1002, that's it, you're done. You made your first impression. That may have been a business card, that may have been your website, that may have been the way you're dressed. Maybe your staff in your office, the way your office looks, your furniture. 2.3 seconds is all you get to make an impression. And what kind of impression are we making as a whole, as a profession? What do you guys think? Not a very good one. Somewhere in the middle. So, the cookie cutter websites, the plastic spine at the mall, you know, the chair massage, the cheesy, cheap suit, that's not what we deserve as chiropractic. And I'm going to tell you guys a story about sliced bread. You guys have heard, you know, the greatest invention since sliced bread, right? Now, sliced bread was invented by a guy in 1900s, and he spent a lot of time on patenting it, putting it together, the mechanics, how it would work, documenting everything. But you know what? The first 15 years, no one bought it, and no one knew about it. By the way, he was also from Davenport, Iowa. And so no one bought it for 15 years. He actually was faced with a lot of objections. People would say, you know, that's never going to work. It's, you know, the bread's going to be stale. He just had a lot of objections, just like you're going to get when you get out. And it wasn't until Wonder came along and gave sliced bread a brand, an image, packaged it, put a picture on it, put a logo on it, and then guess what? Now you can't get away without seeing sliced bread in the store, in the restaurants, or anywhere, correct? So think about chiropractic. Has been around since 1895, and what is it now? 5 to 10% of the population receives our care, depending on what research you look at or what survey you look at. So it's a very small portion of the population. So there's some parallels, would you agree? So I really, truly think that chiropractic is sliced bread without wonder. So I have been blessed to be working with a lot of chiropractors. I coach them on practice management, on brand management, on their image, on implementing systems into their practices, getting new patients, how to run their practice. So I've been really blessed. I love working with chiropractors because they're such passionate bunch of people. But you know, the one thing that bugs me and the one thing that I have noticed is that, which I think links to what I was just telling you guys about, is that we settle for mediocrity a lot. And I have a theory on why that happens. So when you first get out of school, or even when you're in clinic, I remember like everybody was like, you know, chiropractic is about saving lives. Chiropractic saves lives. Just tell the chiropractic story, right? And I remember being like, okay, well, to be honest, I didn't believe it. I didn't believe chiropractic saved lives. I believed that it helped relieve tension, relieve pain, help with organ function. You know, I believed that it was helping people with their health, but I don't know if I could see that a subluxation could kill. And it's hard, there's a disconnect, because we have to, even when you're in practice, you're documenting neck pain and subluxations and listings and improvements in symptoms, right? There's a disconnect there. You don't really see the big picture that we are saving lives. And I didn't see it. I was in practice for a few years, and I still didn't believe it. Until one day, I had a patient that came to me with her little, she was a single mom in her early 30s, And she came in with high blood pressure, anxiety, depression. She was on a list of medications. Of course, she came in for lower back pain and tingling numbness in her toes. She had fibromyalgia, fatigue, insomnia, headaches, you name it, she had it. I start treating her, she starts getting better, and I wanted to get a testimonial video, which you guys will all have to do at some point. And I thought she would be a great candidate for this. She also had a little daughter who had, at a young age, had congenital heart failure and had had multiple surgeries by the time she came to my office. She was getting breathing treatments. She had a horrible, horrible immune system, no sense of balance, couldn't play outside. And of course, those are typical chiropractic stories, by the way. Those are things that we're helping with patients all the time. But this particular one changed my life and changed the way I look at things. What happened was, once I sat down and I had these questions to ask her, because we were doing the video testimonial, I asked her, one of the questions were, what would your life be like if you didn't come to Wellness Choice Center? That's the name of my practice. And I will never forget this moment. She got quiet. She went inside. She got teary-eyed. And she said, 2 days before I came to your office, I was going to commit suicide. Because I didn't think I was a good mother for Audrey, for her little daughter. That's the moment where I quit mediocrity. That's the moment where I decided chiropractic is about life and death. Chiropractic is not what I thought it was. We are saving lives every day. By the way, I had no idea. I knew her symptoms got better. I knew that she was feeling better. I knew she was off of all of her medication. She had no symptoms whatsoever. Her life had changed. Her daughter's life had changed. No longer on breathing treatments, is able to play like any other little girl. I knew that, but I didn't know that one piece of information that basically changed my life. And it happened for a reason. So going back to the image, this image that we're putting out there as chiropractors, is it portraying life and death? Is it portraying us as healthcare professionals, wellness professionals, doctors that are changing lives and are saving lives? Is that what we're portraying out there? It's not, unfortunately. You know, when I was in school, everybody was like, tell the story, just tell the chiropractic story. And I'm like, okay, well, that's great. I will go out there and tell the story. And that's what I did for years. But here's the problem. Collectively, we all have chiropractic stories, right? Put them all in a book. This book has a cover. And believe it or not, people do judge a book by its cover. It's just our nature. We are attracted to things that are attractive. So if this cover, that 2.3 seconds that you're going to get, that somebody is going to get a chance to judge this cover, are they going to read the book? Is the story going to matter? So that's really the bottom line of my message. And I think that we are as strong as our weakest link. So whose responsibility is this, right? For you and I, the younger generation of chiropractors, yes, it seems like we're pushing the boulder uphill, because the ones that came before us, they didn't care, they didn't know, I don't know, but they didn't do good enough of a job. And I think it's because 5 to 10% of the population that's getting chiropractic care is paying the bills. It's not only paying the bills, but it makes you a really good living. But that's about it. But if you look at the big picture of how we're saving lives, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. Everybody deserves to know about chiropractic. Everybody's life will change with chiropractic. I truly believe that. So whose responsibility is it to change this image of chiropractic? Exactly. Put your finger on your chest and say, I. It's your responsibility. It is my responsibility to change the image of chiropractic. And I'm not saying this for my sake. Don't do it for your own sake. Don't even do it for the sake of the profession. Do it for the sake of Megan and Audrey, who if they didn't believe in chiropractic, and if the brand wasn't there, if the trust wasn't there, they're not going to show up to your office. She would have ended up dead. Her story would have been completely different than how it is right now. Do you guys see that? Okay. So I think that's my message. I think my message is that it is possible. Anything that you have in your mind right now, some of you know exactly what you want to do. Some of you know exactly which practice you're going to go back to. You know exactly where you're going to practice or how you're going to practice, what technique you're going to do. Maybe you've picked out the colors of your walls. And some of you are just like when I was in school. I had no idea. But whatever that vision is right now, or when this vision is clear for you, it is possible. You can get there, as long as you're willing to work hard for it. But also the message is that having a great image is certainly is not going to guarantee you anything. But without it, we don't stand a chance, collectively as a whole. And that's my message today. Thank you, everyone.